As some of you may know, Halo is a big part of my life. Halo was everything. A space opera that spanned billions of years and hundreds of planets, with enough room to tell so many stories. Ones filled with hope and grandeur and glory. But there was also enough room for shocking, eerie, and dreadful experiences too. If Halo 3 changed my life, I think Halo Reach built on that, upped the game, and gave me a lot of hope. I have a lot of fond memories of Halo 3, but Halo Reach is where I really grew up. I was more mature, and so was the story of Halo Reach. Halo Reach forces you to realize the inevitable, look at death, and forces you to realize that sometimes, even though you try your hardest, it might not be enough, and you might have to fail and start again. This video is kind of about the inevitable, and I'm not talking about that feeling that I got when I realized that Bungie's last Halo game wasn't going to be focused on the Master Chief. I'm talking about how it feels when you're constantly on the backstep and fighting a battle that you know you're going to lose. From the beginning, you know the end. Or at least some people did. I wasn't one of them. Now, before I talk about the campaign of Halo Reach, I really have to talk about the pre-release information that we were given as the game was coming out. Bungie told us that the character that you customize for multiplayer is also going to be the character that crosses over into the campaign, essentially making your Spartan and you Noble Six. Now, you could do what some of the people that bought Halo Reach did and change a couple of your armor colors and pick one of the two available helmets and then get straight into the campaign, or you could be like a sensible player and boot up the multiplayer and grind out armor. The more multiplayer you played, the more you could customize your Spartan. Every match you played essentially helped you unlock more and more armor, and playing more multiplayer meant that your Spartan could look more how you wanted them to. And I played a ton of multiplayer before I ever started the campaign, and that was mostly because I loved the idea of playing as my Spartan. This is him, by the way. Fucking badass helmet. I never liked the original EOD, but the version without the vents looks so much cooler in my opinion that it just sucks that they never brought it back for any other Halo game. And it's actually insane to me that EOD hasn't made a return for Halo Infinite at all. Halo Reach's multiplayer changed the game, dude. The amount of armor customization that you get in this game is really second to none, and I'd be hard-pressed to find another Halo game, let alone another video game generally, that lets you do as much as you can with the Halo Reach armors. And I love the fact that your Spartan becomes the main character. This was the first time real loadouts were brought into Halo as well. I remember running around with the DMR, the regular pistol, and plasma grenades, and being an absolute menace. On top of loadouts, this was the first time armor abilities were a thing in Halo as well. Jetpack, Sprint, Armor Lock are all examples of that. People hated Armor Lock for a long time. Still do, I think. It's probably the most hated piece of equipment you could pick up in a Halo game. The maps were all fantastic and super fun to play. The Sword-based level is a fantastic map built on a level that's actually in the campaign. Halo Reach's Forge mode did a lot to build on top of Halo 3's and expanded just about everything that made Halo 3 special. You could change the color of objects, give them physics, make them phase into each other, and you could build a lot of cool stuff. Look at this big-ass grunt, this big-ass elite. It's the Pillsbury Doughboy. Or like a butt. Forge World was a brand new idea for the series too, giving you several different land masses to choose from, and a lot of times me and my friends would just go into Forge mode and find one of those land masses, build a base on it, and have wars amongst each other in Forge. It was just one of the coolest experiences because I wasn't good at making maps and my friends weren't good at making maps, but we could build the shit out of a base. And then we threw down spawn points and just tried to kill each other for a couple hours. I remember playing Horse with my friends after Achievement Hunter started it too. You would just have these random obstacle courses or tiny little maps to mess around with. And, you know, if you won, the other person got an H. Horse. The racing game modes were fantastic. Returning stuff like Sumo, Halo on Halo, Duck Hunt, all of those. They're all there. You know, they were all there. And I could gush about Halo forever, I feel like. And I'll do that in future videos, of course. Kind of like this Halo 3 ODST video I'm working on right now. My time in DHG, Die Hard Gamers, where I very quickly became a guy that helped set up practices and team scrims, and I would help run game nights. And I'm not sure why we ever ran scrims and stuff like that, because we didn't join any tournaments. I assume clans like that are gone now. DHG stopped posting anything on Twitter in 2018, and I haven't seen any sort of activity from them since, but I'm sure things like FaZe are still a thing, right? But getting a bunch of guys together and having them change their gamer tags probably just isn't really much of a thing anymore. Okay, so you finally have your Spartan. It's time to do the campaign. The campaign opens up with your helmet laying on the ground with a shattered visor and the ground smoldering all around you. And then we flash back and we put on that helmet and we're on our way to the Noble base. And it features a 6 Spartan team. Kat, Carter, Emil, George, June, and you. Noble 6. The second you show up, Carter tells you to leave that lone wolf stuff behind. And put a pin in that, because we'll get back to that later. The first time playing as a Spartan not named John was kind of different. And being grafted onto a team that really felt like they didn't necessarily want me sort of already gives you that uneasy feeling. When the Falcons touch down for the slow start of Halo Reach, it just kind of adds to that atmosphere. All you know is you're making a routine stop to check on some locals before moving on to a communication relay and getting that started back up. But things change so quickly. If you're paying attention, you might see small glimpses of the Covenant before we actually realize what's going on. But once the Covenant shows up, it's all out war. Shoot first, ask questions later. We have to move and we have to warn the people. Because I don't know if you know this, but Reach is like one of the last 2 planets that humanity has. And if Reach falls, Earth's probably next. And the second half to this mission is probably the most badass second half of any mission in a Halo game, where you and George follow 2 elites in, and he grabs the door, he shuts it behind him, and he goes, "You're not locked in here with me. I'm locked in here with myself and you, and now we're gonna fight." Basically, you follow 2 elites into the other half of this building. George shuts the door behind you, and it's you versus the elites, and there's only one winner. You already know it's the humans, buddy. Yeah, we're whipping ass. After you finally get the communications array back up, you let the colonel know, "Hey man, the Covenant are here," and this starts the all-out war that is Halo Reach. So you land at Sword Base and you're immediately killing tons of grunts. And they say you know who's walking out of Halo Reach the victor, but every single encounter makes it feel like it's you. At least at first. We're just like swinging for the fences and we're scraping by every single time, and it just might go in our direction if we keep it up. So you start up 2 anti-air turrets and then make your way inside past 2 hunters and a bunch of fodder, kill a bunch of banshees, and you get radioed that Dr. Halsey wants to see you. She made Cortana, but you don't know that yet. But you'll be taking Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn. Again, you just don't know that yet. From there we go to a night mission with June, and damn it, this mission has every right to be so much cooler than this. If Bungie had the balls to give you a silent sniper and an occasional enemy to kill while you get to learn about June, I think this mission would have been so much better. But instead it turns out to be a night mission that starts out a little bit different, but ends up being the same as just about everything else. This is one of the 2 times I think that you see wildlife, and it's a fucking Rancor. What the fuck? But the whole idea of this mission is to get a visual of the invading army, which we end up doing. And cue probably one of the coolest cutscenes I've ever seen. It's a huge badass rush with hundreds of people, tons of vehicles, and us right in the middle of it all. Now this feels like a war. You take out some anti-air guns, you fight through some UNSC, Covenant, and civilian architecture, and at the end of this mission, you jump off of this big-ass pillar, and you go flying, and George catches you with one hand, which is super fucking impressive because George has to have the grip strength of like 30,000 pounds, because I don't know if you know this, but the armor that Spartans wear weighs like a ton, like literally. And then a UNSC frigate comes in and blasts the shit out of this thing that you were just jumped off of, and you're like, yeah, we fucking got him. And then a laser rips through that ship and the camera pans up, and god damn it, I mean, I got literal chills looking at this. It's got to be the biggest ship known to mankind at that point. And you're just staring at it going, oh, well, what the fuck do we do now? And we're not going to make it out of this. And that is the real first indication that that's the case. Cat wants to take us up into space and use a slip space drive as a makeshift nuke to take out the Covenant. And there's no way that's ever going to... What? Okay, we're going to go do that. So we cut to landing at the beach and push our way up to the facility that's going to help us launch into space. And once we launch into space, we actually get one of the only actual space missions. Space. After we launch ourselves up into space, I said it again. After we launch ourselves up into space, we get one of the few space missions. Space missions? Space missions. I can't say space missions. I can't say space missions? Oh! It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's pretty cool, and I give Bungie some props for trying something really unique in their last outing. So, coming up, we get our biggest glimmer of hope, followed by the most soul-crushing part of Halo Reach. The good news is we got it up there, and it's ready to go off, and the bad news is it's broken, and George has decided to sacrifice himself. He never wanted to leave Reach, and I guess he never really did. He hands you his dog tags, picks you up, and tells you to make a count before throwing you off into space, plummeting down to Reach below. And just like that, we've won the war. What? No. Come on. God damn it. So with Halo 3 setting the precedent, we fall down to Reach, slam into the ground, pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, shake off the fall, pick up a pistol, and we've made it back to Reach, but we've lost a member of Noble Team. Staring at the burning city of New Alexandria, I gotta imagine Noble 6 is pretty pissed off. Just when we thought we were getting ahead, our hopes get dashed again. So we fight through the city, meet up with some ODSTs, and help this ship of civilians get up off the ground, and that's another win for the... God damn it! We do end up saving some civilians, though, so I'll count that as a win. We get picked up in a Falcon, and that's when you, the player, and Noble 6 both kind of realize, despite everything we're fighting for, just not fighting hard enough. It's hard to see that no matter what you do and how hard you fight as the player, you're just not getting anywhere. And it just doesn't make sense. Everything's backwards. The good guys should be winning, but you're not. We're getting deployed back to Sword Base, and that's weird, because why would we go back to Sword Base? And during the scramble to get out there, Kat takes a shot straight to the head. She literally gets 360 no-scoped in what might be one of the saddest things I've ever seen in a Halo game, and it happens so suddenly with no real build-up. She just gets shot. We fight through Sword Base again, we get to Halsey, we grab Cortana, and this is where June literally just pieces out from the story. Hits us with the... So it's you, Emil, and Carter left, and you guys get flanked by some Banshees, and Carter's not responding to the AI asking him questions, so you go to see what's up, and he throws his helmet on the ground, and he's bloody, and he's hurt, and he tells you, listen, guys, I'm not going to make it. It's a ground game from here. I'll tell you guys when to jump out of here, but you guys are going to have to go on foot. So you're pushing towards the Pillar of Autumn, and a goddamn Scarab tank shows up out of nowhere. And Carter's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. Carter makes this heroic sacrifice and slams headfirst into the Scarab tank, killing it and himself. But that's what helps you get to this final mission where you're fighting up the building and you get to the MAC cannon, and Emil goes, I'll take the MAC cannon. And you're like, you're right, I have to go deliver Cortana to Captain Keyes. So you run down and you go and you hand Captain Keyes Cortana, and then you look up and Emil's fighting his dick off. This has got to be one of the most badass deaths in the history of anything. He's fighting like 3 elites at once. No, Emil's one of the coolest fucking characters in Halo, period. Captain Keyes goes, get on board, we gotta go. And...
Negative. I have the gun. Good luck, sir.
Is one of the coldest lines in history. Six basically just goes like, nah, man, you guys got to get out of here. I'll take one for the team. And he like resigns himself to death right then and there. So you go to the Mac cannon and you fire off some shots to take down some phantoms to help Keyes get back to the ship. And let's go ahead and take that pin back out, because it's time to go back to that lone wolf stuff. That's the name of the last mission. Your objective? Survive. It's a mission you can't finish with an objective that's just too abstract to complete. Over the course of the mission, you become more and more hapless as you scrounge for weapons off the ground and kill wave after wave after wave of invading forces, and eventually it just becomes too much. The end of Halo Reach is a lesson in humanity and its absolute will to build itself back up from disaster, because there still seems to be hope on Reach. Despite all the devastation that's happened prior, no matter what, humanity seems to bounce back. And that's the case, at least partially, to Noble Six and Master Chief's continued efforts after the events of Halo Reach. Yeah, man, Halo's mega good. I frankly think this is how all of these Halo videos are going to end. Video game good. The Halo series of video games as a whole has changed my entire perspective on life, basically, and it's made a ton of positive impact on me in a lot of ways. So I really appreciate that Halo is still a big part of my life, and I get to share this sort of thing with you guys, and I get to talk about them and replay them for the videos and everything too. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and I've got new videos coming out weekly, so feel free to subscribe to stay caught up on those. I really appreciate everybody that's taken the time to subscribe and watch these videos that I put out and all the shorts that I put out. It means a ton to me. So again, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next week.